This is Winnie Wriggle, and welcome back to Edentech Modded Minecraft on our Modded Monday series. Today, we have a ton of stuff to do. Most of it is going to be around the base, so I'll give you a quick tour of what's changed since last we talked. I did take just a few minutes to make us a farm area so we could get some basic crops going. You'll also see behind me that there is a place where we are going to set up a Tinkers Smeltery. Yes, folks, if you look at my inventory, I have nothing but very shoddy, terrible tools. I mean, I have a stone axe. Look at this. Leather helmet, leather boots, iron sword, iron shovel. Yeah, we need some tools so we can do stuff like mining. I did go ahead and go down into the mines briefly. I'll show you what we've collected from my sojourn down there. We're also, got a few organics, but mostly some bling. Not a whole lot, just enough to get us started in terms of resources. And I also will save this for the end. While I was down there, we happened to run into the bottom of some of the dungeon areas. So I did kill a few mobs and get some loot bags. I've emptied some of them, and some of them I have saved, and we'll do that at the end of the episode. But right now, let's go ahead and get started with Tinkers. So you start with these seared bricks, which you make out of grout. If we put 4 of those together, we get seared bricks as well, but the bigger kind. And we're going to put them down in a 3x3 as the base of our smeltery. Now, the cool thing about Tinkers is you can make the smeltery in any configuration you want. But we're going to stick with one of the most common, which is just a 3x3 base. The next layer is also a combination of seared bricks and smeltery parts. So the first thing we're going to make is a seared tank. Sorry, smeltery controller. That is the brain of the smeltery. That's the thing you will right click, the thing that is the input, if you will. For this, we'll do the same thing, a circle, but with a piece of glass in the middle gives us a seared tank. We're going to need to find a couple of buckets of lava so that we can fuel the smeltery. In order to get the items out of the smeltery, we'll need a couple things. We're going to need some drains. So we'll make 2 of those. We'll need spouts on those drains. They're called faucets. We will also need a basin to pour, a casting basin to pour blocks of minerals in. And then if we reverse it, we get a casting table. And that's where the molds will go so that we can craft all the things we need to do. I've set this up so that our controller can live right there. We'll put our... That's a drain, right? Yeah, drains right here. And that's the only reason I put these blocks around the edge is to support this row of blocks that has to go around the outside of our base here. We'll put the tank back here, although I will be picking that up again in order to go fill it with lava. I just want to make the smeltery and show you what it looks like when it's actually activated. So that's just 12 blocks around the bottom, including the parts that make it run. And you'll note that it is a valid smeltery if this thing starts making flame. And if you right click it, you'll see we have 9 spaces in order to melt or smelt our ores. Now, you can also make the smeltery taller so that you have more spaces. One of the cool things you can do is make the smeltery taller by adding seared glass as well as bricks. I think we'll just make 16 of those, possibly, and maybe. So I have 16 glass and 16 bricks, and let's see if we can make this do a little 1, 2, 3. Because it's fun to be able to see the metals in the smeltery as they're cooking up. Okay, we might have even more than I need. So basically I'm just building up the walls of the smeltery. Reach this bottom one there. Yep. Super easy that we need more of these. Blah. I know there's one missing down there. Promise I'll get it. I think we just need 5 more because 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one I missed. 5. And there is our smelter, and I actually like to go through and get rid of the little guide blocks that I left down there. Okay, that's one part of the Tinker's equation. So that's our smeltery. You'll notice now we have quite a few more slots. You can actually build them way up, make them huge. You can make them bigger, like it could be a 5x5. It could be a long, I've done long skinny ones, like a 9x1. The key is you have to have a controller and you have to have a tank. The drains are just so you can get stuff out. So we'll put our faucets on the drain, and then we will put the casting basin right here. Casting table right here and the casting basin right here. Now we need to make the rest of the pieces of our smelter, and we start that by making what are called blank patterns. And you make patterns by a crosshatch of sticks and oakwood planks. And I find that about 40 patterns is enough to really get you started. So you take a chest with a pattern, it gives you a pattern chest. You take a piece of wood with a pattern, it gives you a stencil table. You notice a pattern here. If you put a crafting table with a pattern, it gives you a tool station. And then if you put a log with a pattern, it gives you a part builder. Now we're going to use the rest of these to make one more Tinker's crafting table. So you take a regular crafting table, just put it back in your crafting. You get the Tinker's one. Okay, so right across from where we'll be working is where we'll set up our little area. I like to put my pattern chest down and then the part builder right in front of it. Spend a lot of time doing that. My regular crafting table to one side, the stencil table right next to the pattern chest, since that's where my patterns are going to live, and then the tool station, which we'll upgrade in a bit, next to it. I also, the sun is going down, I like to make an extra pattern chest for the actual aluminum brass patterns that we'll make, the molds that we'll make for the actual tool parts. So let's take a nap real quick. And I can hear a zombie down here. Probably in a nearby cave would be my guess. I'll shut that door behind us. Okay, so Tinker's tools. We're going to start with the basics. There's a bunch of them I can make without having to melt anything. In fact, let's do the aluminum brass, which I think is a combination of copper and, please say I have, nope, that's box silver. There we go, bauxite. So if we go look up aluminum brass, molten aluminum brass, and look at the alloying recipe, you need 3 aluminum and 1 copper. And bauxite is aluminum. So it's a 3-to-1. So I'm actually going to save one of those. And throw this in the smeltery. Except that we don't have any fuel yet. So first I need to go get some lava. Ha ha ha. Let's take that back out. Gimme, gimme. Let's take our tank. I think let's run down in the mine real quick, and I can show it to you as well as grab some lava while we're there. So we have super fast ladders to get down as well as up. And do I have a bucket? No, I left my bucket. That's gonna be important. Hold on. Okay, have bucket, we'll travel. Although we'll have to empty it. I'll have a snack on the way down. Have some bread as we go down the ladder. Okay, there should be tons of lava. Let's go this way. Yeah, right here. So let's set our water down. set the tank, seared tank. It holds 4 buckets of lava. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's perfect. And let's stop our lava flow. So we'll be able to come down here whenever we need to refill. We'll get a bigger tank later. Right now, we just need enough to get started. So that tank is pretty cheap. It's only 8 seared brick and a piece of glass to make a tank. If you need a temporary way early on in modded to carry around fuel. There we go. Now we have lava. Now we can put the bauxite, which is aluminum, and copper. And that should give us aluminum brass. And so one of the first things we want to make is a pickaxe. I got this iron one with Unbreaking 3 and Insight as a loot drop when I was down in the mines looking after monsters. One of the first things we want to do is take our stencils and put them in our stencil table. And we're going to make all the stencils that are here, basically, minus a couple. So you just click on the stencil and the pattern, it gets stamped into that pattern. So there's a collection of them that I know we will need as we go through our tool making endeavors. Some I'm going to skip over because we won't need them right away. Basically, you want all the bindings and the tool rods and the things that look like parts of tools. So the way Tinkers is designed is that you make individual parts and then assemble the tools so that you can use different materials for each part of the tool. And the different materials have different statistics. Like you could use stone to make a pickaxe or flint. I don't think we'll need a sign or a chisel. Oh, oop, that's an extra. Don't need that. What? And we'll just throw these in here. Okay, now that we have a pattern chest, and you'll notice I can access all the pieces, all the tables in the Tinkers set because they're all touching one another. So now that we have all of our patterns in the pattern chest, if I go to the part builder and right click, part crafter, sorry, you'll see I can pick the pattern I want. So here's my pickaxe head pattern. It says I need a material cost of 2 to make it. And then I put whatever material I want to make that out of into this pattern. In this case right now, I actually want to make a stone pickaxe head. I want to make a couple of, in fact, I'm going to make a bunch of stuff out of stone. A shovel head, an axe head, a tool rod, a tough tool rod, a stone binding, a stone tough tool rod binding. I'm making all these. And part of what I'm doing, this is the beauty of Tinkers. So some materials will let you make the pattern in the part crafter. Some materials require you to smelt them and put them in a mold. So we want to make, now that we have a block and a half or so of aluminum brass, we want to make a mold out of this pickaxe head, right? So the stone pickaxe head is going to disappear. It's going to be consumed because we made this mold, a pickaxe head cast, out of aluminum brass. Now that will never melt. And I can use it to craft a pickaxe head out of materials like iron or bronze or copper. And then I can store that in our cast chest here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn all of these parts into casts and store them in our chest. So I'm just right clicking the stone version of what I want to make a cast of and then right clicking the faucet to pour the molten aluminum brass on top. And it automatically stops when there's enough in there to make the cast. You can make casts if you don't have access to aluminum or copper. You can make casts out of clay. They are one use only, but in a pinch, the clay casts are great. Especially if you want to make something where you think you'll never make another version of whatever it is. Okay, we're almost done. And we still have 6 ingots, so I can still make 6 casts if we need to. One of the casts I definitely want to make while we're here. We'll want to make the sharpening kit cast as well as an ingot cast. So a great way to cheat on the ingot cast instead of wasting an ingot is to make one out of seared bricks. So we will put a seared brick right there on the casting table and we'll get an ingot cast. Woo! So easy. And then we'll make a sharpening kit out of stone and make its cast. And I think that does it for our cast. Most of this first set of tools, because we have other mods in here like Silence Gems, I'm actually going to make a lot of my tool parts out of these gems rather than in the smeltery because their statistics are much higher. So for this first one, for a pickaxe, an entire pickaxe, let's look at the tool station. So if we click on the pick, you'll notice that we need a tool rod, a pickaxe head, and a binding. So we need these 3 parts out of different materials. So we go to our part builder. We're going to start with a pickaxe head. I'm going to use sapphire to make it. It only costs 2 to do that, but I'm also doing it because this gives us an obsidian mining level, which is what we need because we do want to go to the nether probably next episode, and a relatively fast mining speed, like a 10 mining speed is pretty great. Durability is not the head durability 600 is not fabulous, but it's not horrible. And then we're also going to need a binding, which I looked up and oh, we can't make it out of garnet. Interesting. Can I make a tool rod out of garnet? No, that's so sad. Okay, we'll make a tool rod out of wood. And then we'll make our binding out of, well, I was going to say stone. Let's go ahead and, ooh, take a nap because it's dark. Oh no. Running. Oh, let's take a nap because scary things at night. We'll make our binding out of copper since we have a smeltery up and running. Oh, much better. Okay. And I think we only need, we'll probably have a couple. Let's just do a bunch of copper while we're at it. Because we'll need more than one binding. And copper is actually pretty fast to melt in the smeltery as well. Another great starting material for tools, for tinkers, is bronze. And bronze is a combination, it's 1 tin to 3 copper. So I'm actually going to make a bunch of copper and then throw enough tin in here to turn the rest into bronze. Because I think a bronze tool rod might have even more durability. You'll notice that I put 9 ores of copper into the smeltery and I got 2 blocks in return. The smeltery doubles your ore production and we love that. Okay, let's make a binding. So we'll get our binding cast. Throw it in there, right click the faucet, and you'll see we get a little progress bar. Put that away, and now we have a beautiful copper binding, which will give us extra XP as we're using our pickaxe. So we're going to put the pickaxe head, the wooden tool rod we made, and the copper binding, and we get this lovely sapphire pickaxe. It's got a mining speed of 10, a durability of 725, which is way better than the durability of the one we're using. So if you look at this one's diamond durability, mining speed of 6. So we're going to double our mining speed and our durability. We also can add modifiers to this to make it even better. We'll do that in a minute. Right now, I'm also going to make a couple more tools. Let's start with a sword because I do want to do that on camera. I'm really sorry we can't use the garnets. But the sword gives us an attack of 6.8. For a sapphire blade, I think that sounds pretty good. I'm going to make the tool rod out of bone because that gives you extra bonus damage against the undead. And then for our binding, let's go ahead and make the sword's wide blade out of copper because we'll also get extra XP. And that is never a bad thing. So now we go over here, we select sword, we put the blade, the tool rod, and the copper, and we get a sword with an attack damage of 10.3. That is 4 points better, and a durability of 900. Yeah, that's 4 times the durability of our little pathetic iron sword. So we have a sapphire broadsword. Thank you, Tinkers. Okay, I am going to make up 2 more tools, a shovel and a mattock, which is a combination of axe and hoe, and I will be right back. Okay, and we're back, and I have pulled the rest of I used bronze to make the handles of our tools. So now we have a sapphire mattock with some pretty good statistics and a sapphire shovel, because goodness knows that is one of my favorite tools in Minecraft. So we're also going to add some modifiers to these. First, I'm going to throw some of this iron in here to cook it up, because we definitely need iron, and that's all I had was 43 pieces. So we're going to add to our pickaxe. We can do one of 2 things. Both diamonds and emeralds, when you add them, increase the effectiveness of your tool. So if you add a diamond, it actually increases the durability. You can see how great that is, almost doubles it. As well as take it to obsidian, but we're already obsidian level, so we don't really care. An emerald does the same thing. It always will increase your tool's durability by half. So what first we want to do is put a diamond on it. And then we want to put an emerald on it. And now we have a 1500 durability on our pickaxe, which is great. Now that that is done, we have other things to do. We've made our tools. We also want to, and made our Tinker's tables. We also want to do a little bit of automated processing. So I was going to make a tree farm over here, and then I realized we have bonsai pots in this mod pack. So we're actually going to take some of this iron. Yay! Bonsai mod is very simple. It gives you this great bonsai pot, and you can put it on top of a chest with a hopper. Oh, this is beautiful. It's just brick, which I made a bunch of brick. Yay! We're also going to get into the cookings for Blockheads mod today. There's a bonsai pot, and now I just need to make a hopper, which is a chest, and 5 pieces of iron. Super easy. Now we get a hopping bonsai pot. If I put this on top of a chest and put a piece of dirt in it, and then put a sapling in the top, this is the best thing ever. It grows a tree. And once it's grown, you can see the progress. It will harvest everything that the tree drops and stick it in the chest for us. Magic. Pure magic. I love bonsai pots. So we don't have to have a tree farm. Okay, next up, cooking for Blockheads. The first thing we need is a cooking table, which requires the Cooking for Blockheads 2 book, which is made with a Cooking for Blockheads 1 book, 2 diamonds, and 2 crafting tables. To get a Cooking for Blockheads 1, we need to stick a book in the furnace. The good news is we have some books and we have a furnace. So let's do that. I did find 5 diamonds in my adventures down in the mine shaft. So we have enough to make the next tier. And I consider this mod important enough to spend the diamonds. It's almost essential. Okay, we also need stone. Oh dear. I don't think I've cooked any stone up. Have I? Was I smart? No. Okay, I'll be back once I've cooked up some stone. Bye. While I was waiting for the stone to cook up, I thought I'd come find these zombies that have been grumbling underneath the base for the last freaking however long. We also, part of the reason I wanted tools, if you've seen... Okay, I put catapult plants around the base because I thought it'd be fun. I'm regretting that life choice. Okay, remember the entrance to the dungeon that's over here? It's why we keep running into dungeon monsters down here, is they're all down there at diamond level. But this house is a great source of materials, namely brick, and I want to use the brick to kind of expand our base out the back. And I started harvesting it with my pathetic stone and normal iron tools, and I just like I got like a stack and a half of bricks, and I was like, I'm done. So I will tear down the rest of that house off screen, and we can use it as resources to add a little bit more square footage to the base. Yeah, seed catapult plants are on the base. Fun? Not fun? Can't decide. They're kind of fun. Okay. Okay. So now let's make our cooking table. Okay, a cooking table and oven, which requires a furnace. There's the black stained glass and some iron. We need our fridge. We actually need 2 of these, which we need an iron door and 2 chests. Let's make those. So we want a top and a bottom fridge. I also went and found terracotta in those little formations there across the way. There were a couple of them. And a sink. So we have a cooking table, an oven, a sink. Tool rack requires iron ingots and slabs. So let's make 2 of those. Kitchen counter. Terracotta, chests, and stone. And here is where we don't have a whole lot of room at the end. So we're going to make our kitchen over here temporarily. So we'll put our corner countertop in here. Probably stick the fridge right here. Cooking table will be the thing we access the most frequently, so we'll put it front and center. Oven, kind of just aesthetics. Sink aesthetics. Another countertop. Another countertop, and that can be our doorway out. We'll go ahead and put some of our tools up here. Let's make the rest of the Pam's Harvestcraft tools. So I'll do that up real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, we got all the tools made. We'll stick them in their little placeholders. Skillet, saucepan, pot, bakeware, and then I usually hang the rest. The juicer, etc. Oh, there's the mixing bowl. Now, when we right-click on the cooking table, it'll give us all the things that we can make with the available ingredients. And then we'll put everything that's food-related in the refrigerator. I'll get that moved over, and I'll be right back. Okay, we got all the food items moved over, including the rice, etc. So we have made our Tinker's tools, our sword, our pick, our mattock, and our shovel. We've made the cooking for Blockheads kitchen. I've made all of the Pam's tools so that we can eat like we're living large. But I think that does it for today's episode. I want to close things off with first taking a little nap so we don't get surprised by monsters coming into the house. But I want to show you all the loot that we got, which is actually going to make... I'm actually really excited about the loot. Let me get out the other loot bag that we picked up, as well as some of the coins. I've been keeping the coins from the good old currency mod here in this loot bag chest. But check this out. So these all came from loot bags, killing monsters while I was down in the mines. So we got another iron sword, which is a good backup. I'll put that in the weapons chest. We got a diamond battle axe. That's pretty great. It does 11 damage. We might carry that around. A couple of potions of strength. The emerald chestplate. We're going to put that on right now. That'll help our armor immensely. So we'll retire the good old iron one. And I want to open the rest of these loot bags. One of the best things in here, I haven't hovered it over yet. I'm not even sure if I'm willing to accept it from a loot bag. I had plans to start generating power with immersive engineering very shortly, but this Spectre coil literally is a passive generation of 128 RF a tick without any effort. You just slap it on a battery and it starts absorbing things. So We will make probably the thermal foundation battery next time and get up with a basic set of ore processing machines like a furnace and a grinder. Probably also the Actually additions. I might start with Actually additions, but this is free power. That's 128 RF a tick. Just passively generates it. We can stop it in a battery. Yay for modded. Let's open our potion bag and see what we get. Splash potion of strength. Not too shabby. And let's open the rest of these loot bags. What do we get? Aqua berries. Teaches a Chocho about to dive. That's cool. An ender wing. That's awesome. Teleport to world spawn. That's like, that gets us home. Let's open this other bag. A heart jar. Yay. And this one, we'll get to the point where loot will just be like, oh my god, what do we even do with it? Because we will need to make a mob farm. But right now, it's very exciting. A diamond glaive. Ooh, be careful. And 2 diamonds. I am not going to say no to some bling. Okay. Not bad. Not bad for episode 2. A little bling, a little modded. Got some food going on, a farm going on. We got our Tinkers tools going on. So I'm going to do some mining in between episodes and gather a whole bunch more resources so that we can go ahead and get into automation next episode. And until then, take care, everybody. And remember that you are the shiny stuff that awesome is made of. Bye-bye.